Well, good afternoon. If it's Tuesday, 12:30 Eastern, it's time for Tuesday's Tips with Michael live here from the StreamYard studio in my home office. Hoping everyone's having a great week. So for the next 4 weeks, we're going to be talking about coaching in some form or another. We're going to start today with talking about our executive coaching program, kind of what I've learned over the years with executive coaching. But over the next few weeks, we'll talk about coaching at the one-on-one level with your direct reports and some other nuances around coaching. But I thought I would start today on our coaching journey, talking about how I've gotten to the place I have with my coaching program, our coaching practice, if you will. About 20 years ago, having a coach was kind of the cool thing, right? Every executive and every office had a coach. I have a coach. You have a coach. How's your coach? You're meeting with your coach. It was kind of a thing, right? It was a thing for a while. Some clients use coaches internally. Some of the bigger clients we worked with had coaches internally. So internal employees would coach executives. Some clients would have external coaches. Some clients go in after the name for having their executives coach. So it was a thing for a while. Then it kind of went away. And now it's back. Now it's back. So when do we get called to coach? So I get called to coach executives. We get called to coach executives, usually one or two areas. Either one, the client has a group of high performers, executives, and they want to take them to the next level, right? And they feel that sending them to a public training program may not be the best for them. They want something a little more customized. So they hire us to be an executive coach to take that executive at a current performance level to a higher level. So we get that from time to time. That said, I tend to get more of these days to get calls from our clients saying that this particular executive is having a difficult time playing in the sandbox nicely with all the rest of the executives. So would it be possible to do some coaching with this particular executive? And the answer to both those questions are yes. So we are a skills-based coaching outfit. I am a skills-based coach. I have a lot of respect for those of my colleagues who coach, who do life skills, that work-life balance. I don't do that. I have colleagues of mine that do coaching that are career coaches, right? You're here, how do you get there? That kind of thing. Don't do that either. I am a business skills coaching, right? Relationships in the building with your teammates, with your colleagues, and with your boss to better your, as they say, sharpen your axe a little bit, to enhance your skills a little bit so that you're better at doing the day in, day out work as an executive. That's the coaching program that we deliver. And so we've learned some things over the years on how to make this really work. And I jot some notes down. And so I'm going to go through this with you. I'll give you the scenario that I get where the executive needs a little help playing in the sandbox with the other executives. So my first conversation, obviously, with the HR director, talk about background, where they are in this process, some stories, maybe what's kind of going on internally before I accept the engagement. Sometimes I'll talk to the client one-to-one a little bit, let them know that I'm going to be their coach. Sometimes I don't. I really let that decision up to the HR director. It's not a bad thing for me to talk to that individual. I don't think it's needed to talk to that individual. But the way our process works is that we want to get information from around the person's work environment, right? Those who work with this person day in and day out, we want to get some anonymous feedback from them, other than the boss, because the boss tends to be identified. So I do two levels of assessment. I do face-to-face or Zoom interviews with about a half a dozen folks who work around this particular executive. Try to get direct reports, try to get peers, from time to time, maybe even the customer, depending who the customer is, and the boss. So I try to get a sense of, I have a list of questions I've modified over the years. And so we do that kind of face-to-face assessment or kind of real-time assessment. We also do 360. So most folks who do some type of coaching use 360. We use 360. We use the Checkpoint product from Wiley. So that's the product I use and very comfortable with. So we both do an electronic assessment, 360 assessment, regular 360, along with the face-to-face interviews. And then I take all that data, and I kind of know, for me, that's kind of the diagnosis, and then I know what I'm getting into. And then I have my first sit-down meeting with the client, person I'm actually coaching, and we review the results. We go through the results of the 360 assessment. We also go through kind of a high-level cursory of the interviews I'm having face-to-face with them. I tend to have this meeting either at the workplace if they're comfortable having it there. Though that said, I do have these meetings outside the workplace. And I will have them like at the Tower Club or other places where I can go and kind of get a spot off to the side. So we do that process first. Once we've agreed on the issues, right, the skill areas that need to be enhanced, I put together a personalized, customized 6, 8, 10, 12 session program. They're usually 2.5 hours. They usually include book reading. I do give homework. I'm old school. I give homework. I give them some things to practice. We will take a couple assessments along the way. I'm a DISC fan, as you know, so there'll be at least one DISC assessment along the way. Sometimes there's two, depending on what we're trying to teach. I do have access to about 900 online courses, so I will assign a series of courses along the way. So they're learning something every other week, every month or so as we're going through their program. I'm challenging them to try certain things. They have access to me, their coach, 24/7. I do have clients that take advantage of that. I'll get a call in the middle of the afternoon. Michael, I'm going into a meeting. I need your thoughts and feedback on this particular situation. We've talked about it before. I'm ready to dive in. Happy to take those calls along the way. So you have access to me pretty much the full time of the coaching run. As we get toward the end, we reassess. I'd go back and do the same interviews as we did prior to, try to get the same folks engaged. We do another 360 assessment. We want to measure delta. So we're looking at 6, 8 months down the line, right? Try to use the same pool of participants as we can. And then I debrief. The last meeting with my client is debriefing all that data based on 6, 8 months of coaching. We normally see improvement. We know, especially if executives want to improve. I mean, sometimes when executives really don't want to improve, it's tough to see some positive delta. But most of the time, we see our executives improve. I hear from my HR clients. They call me from time to time during the coaching program. We're seeing changes in Mary, John, whoever we're coaching, and we do see some improvements in there. So it's kind of our coaching program. It seems to have worked for us over the years. It does take time. It is a bit in depth, and there's a lot of content that goes along the way. It's personalized to the results of the individual's assessment, both face to face and 360. So it's a personalized program. That said, I'm interested in feedback on other coaches. If you're seeing this and you're reading through this and listening to this, if you're wherever you're seeing this, drop something in the trail about your coaching program. What are you doing to enhance the skills of the executive you coach? So that's it for today. It's kind of an overview. If you have more questions about our program, message me wherever you're seeing this. Starting next week, we'll do some other things around coaching. We're going to talk about supervisory coaching. How do I coach my employees whose performance or behavior at the right moment, at this moment, isn't really doing that well? I'll put together a few talking points around that, but I have a 4-step model that I use in teaching supervisors how to coach their employees when they need to be coaching. So that is it for today. Thanks for hanging out with me. This is Tuesday Tips with Michael live, wherever you're seeing this. Drop a note. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great week.